Hello, my friends. Welcome back. How are you? I hope doing okay. Are you ready to read the inspiration for the day? Now, I didn't have any left, so I had to search for these quotes right here. So I hope you enjoy them as much as I did writing them. Okay, I've learned that true happiness comes from giving. Helping others along the way makes you evaluate who you are. I think that love is what we're all searching for. I haven't come across anyone who didn't become a better person through love. That's Marla Gibbs. I thought that was so beautiful. Okay, now let's cruise on over and see what I'm up to today. I have this mold right here, and I thought we would use this to create a center for the blooms that I've been trying to work on. So I thought I would take you along with me to see if this would make a really pretty center for my blooms. So I'm going to use this UV resin right here. It's like a lemon is the color. And I thought we would use one of these that has the, it looks like, it has like the little indentions in it. I can't think of the word I'm looking for. Anywho, we're going to use these two right here that I'm cleaning out. And make them for our centers for our blooms. And I have some glitter over here that is chunky, and it's the octagon looking ones, and I thought we would drop some of those down in the UV resin and then cure it up. And I tried to do this with epoxy resin, and it didn't work well. The glitter just went all in the center and sank down. And I did let it sit there for a while, and get hot, and I thought it would just stay where it was at, but it didn't. So I done them again, and I used UV resin, and they turned out okay. So now we're going to try it again and see if we can get a better outcome. And I'm going to have to do it in 2 layers because I want to make sure that it cures fully all the way through. And I'm just picking some bubbles out right now that I seen in there. And I'm going to spray a little alcohol and pop the rest of them. And there's one pesky one in there that just won't come out. I think I got it. Now let's go ahead and take our octagon glitter and place it down in there right where we want it, and then cure it up and use it in our blooms. I'm just going to drop them down in there until I feel like I have enough to cover the little center that we're making. I don't want to put too many in there, but I want to make sure that I have enough too. So we're going to try to meet in the middle somewhere there. And this glitter mix that I have here, it has some tiny circular pieces in it too. So I'm having to dig through and just get the ones out that I want. So it's taking me a minute to do it. I think we have enough in this one. Okay, and I finished the other one by myself, and now we're going to go ahead and cure them up. And now let's go ahead and put another layer over them and fill the mold completely up. And I'm going to take my little stick here and move any bubbles out of there. And I'm going to place a few more in here where it looks a little empty in some spots. So I'm just going to add a few more. And several of them moved a little bit while they were curing. So I'm just going to fix it. Use a little bit of heat on it. I was trying to pop that bubble. It finally popped. Okay, I turned it upside down and cured it on that side as well. So Let's see if they're cured. Yes, and they look nice. What do you guys think about that? I hope they're going to look pretty in the center of our blooms. I love that color. They turned out really good. Now let's get our molds out. And I thought we would put them in the center here and use UV resin to make them stay where we want them to stay. And I really should have paid attention to where the center was on here, because in the end it made a big difference. And we'll talk about that when we get there. But yeah, if you're going to do it this way, then make sure that they are in the center, completely in the center, because it's going to show when you make your bloom and you demold it. I'm going to spray a little alcohol in my molds before I get started. And now we're going to go ahead and pour some Let's Resin epoxy into the mold. And I made about 120 milliliters of resin. And I'm just going to go ahead and heat that resin up and pop any surface bubbles. Just move that resin around. These coasters are pretty big. They hold a pretty good bit of resin. Now I'm going to use my Pinata Blanco, and that's what we're going to use for our white. When we make our petals, this is what we're going to use. So I'm going to go ahead and make it up first so it can be degassing over to the side in the pipette bag. I'm just making sure I mix it up really well, scraping the sides of the cup and the bottom of the cup. I think it's stirred up pretty good. There's some on the side of the cup there, and I was just trying to get it off and get it stirred in. And I'm going to go ahead and pour it over here into the cup that has my pipette bag. And now let's go ahead and start adding our colors into our coasters. I'm using the alcohol inks that I purchased off of Amazon. They are the Deco-Rom brand, and it's 24 alcohol inks. And I'm dropping in the fuchsia right now. I don't know what that was, but I just scooped something out of the resin. Probably a bubble. Now I have the Forget-Me-Not color, which is like a blue. And I'm going to go drop that color in next. That color is beautiful. And now here is the lemon color, which is yellow. And I'm going to go ahead and drop that in next. And that's making a pretty green. Now let's jump over here to this one, and I'm going to grab the ruby color, which looks a little like red. Or burgundy. Now I'm going to grab the black currant. And we're going to drop that color in next. And then let's go with the I guess I had to cut the top off of that one. I don't know what took me so long to get back in the frame. We're going to use the avocado. I don't like avocados. My daughter loves them, but I don't like them. Okay, we're going to need to add a little bit more color to that one, because I don't like how the black is still moving out. I want something else there. So let's go back in with the ruby. And I'm just going to leave it like that. Wherever it moves, it moves. Let's go back over here. And I want to add a little bit more color to this one too. So let's get the fuchsia and add the fuchsia to the outside. And I know I'm adding a little bit more alcohol ink to these than I usually do, but I just wanted to see what it would look like. I'm just experimenting here, you know, trying to find my best bloom. It's out there somewhere, y'all. I'm still looking for it. I'm going to get it, though. I'm telling you, I'm going to get it. Okay, I think this may not be ready yet. So I waited a little bit longer, and now it's ready, or I think it's ready. So we're going to cut the tip off of it, and we're going to get to making those blooms. Okay, here we go. I'm going to go around that center that I made, and then keep going around. I forgot to cut my notifications off on my tablet, y'all. Sorry. Okay, now I'm going to scoot that one over, and we're going to start with this one. And I like that center that we put in there because it gives me the perfect place to start. Okay, now we're done with that. I'm going to make this line complete here. Now let's go ahead and start with our bloom. And if you've never seen me do a bloom before, I don't start at the 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and so on. I like to do mine this way because if I do it the other way, it makes me lose track of where I'm at. And then I mess my petal completely up. So this is how I like to do it. Now I've made it completely around the petal. So now I'm going to start in the center and bring my petal out. Right like that. And I'm going to go in the center of each petal that I made. Right like that. I don't know if y'all can tell where the center's at in my petals. Okay, we've one more, and we've completely made it around that petal. And I don't know if you can see, but in the center there, it's like it's, I don't know, like it's making a star shape or something where the center is. See where I'm pointing at? It's like it made a star or something right there in the center. Because we put that, the thing that we made for the center of our petal. So it's making like a star shape there. I wonder what that's going to look like when we demold it. Huh. And I don't know what these inks done over here. They've just moved all cockeyed. I don't know what they're doing. I hope it's going to be pretty when I demold it. Now we're going to go ahead and start making these petals. And you can see these a lot better when I go in and make my ones. When I pull the ink outward, you'll be able to see a lot better what I'm talking about in between the petals. And this one's doing the same thing. It's making another little flower off of the center there. See that? That's pretty cool. I don't know what it's going to look like when we demold it, but it looks pretty cool right now. That's crazy. Okay, now let's drag our inks outward. And now you can kind of see what I was talking about, how I do it in the center of my petals that I made. It's just easier for me to know where I went and where I need to go when I'm making the petals. Okay, now we're done with that one. And let's take a close-up look at them. That one looks interesting. I love how it made that green peek out a little bit in those petals. And then this one looks, they both look beautiful so far. So I'm going to take my lighter here and I'm going to pop some of those bubbles. There were quite a few trying to form around the center that we put in there. But I kind of knew it would do that. So I'm just paying close attention to it. Okay, I'm going to cover them and then we'll come back and see if we're going to put something in the back of them. Okay, we're back and I decided to go ahead and put a glitter backing on them. So we're going to use this pink color on the right and the diamond dust glitter on the left. And I have some resin here. And we're going to drop that glitter in the cup. Pour the resin in and stir it up. Then add the rest of my resin. I'm going to let that one sit to the side and degas while we go ahead and get this one stirred up. I'm going to add a little bit of resin to it, get the glitter stirred up. And I'm using this chunky glitter right here. We're going to add it into this one as well. And we might as well add a chunky to the other one. Might as well put a little bit in each of them. That looks pretty. I don't know. I shouldn't have used that chunky glitter in that one probably. The pink one. And I'm going to stay away from the center. And I'm not going to put the glitter in the center. And then I'll put a clear resin on the back here to fill in that space where the middle is at. I didn't want to close in the glitter on the center because I just wanted it to be visible on both sides of the bloom. I don't know how it's going to look, but we're going to find out. And I'm just using my heat gun, popping any surface bubbles. And this one needed a little bit more in it, so I'm just going to add a little bit of clear to it. And then take my silicone tipped brush here and stir it all in together so that it doesn't look funny. And I'm going to use my heat gun again and pop any bubbles that I may have just created. Okay, now we're going to spray a little bit of alcohol on them. And now we're back and it's time to demold them and take a look at them. You can see where it needs some more resin on the back, where the center is at. And there it is. It turned out beautiful. I just don't like where I didn't pay attention to the center, placing it dead in the center, and it made the petal be off a little bit. Had I paid more attention to where I was placing the center, it would not have done that. See, it's a little bit off. Now let's check this one out. Dun, da, da, da. Bam. Oh my, that is beautiful. I love how that avocado color came out. And I love how the white glitter looks at the end. This one is beautiful. What do you guys think about it? But the center's a little bit off on that one as well. You can tell where it's off at. So next time I do them, I think I'm going to leave them clear. I'm not going to put any glitter in the back. And I'm going to make sure that I put my center right dead in the middle. Now, here's a little bit of fun for us all. I wasn't trying to make anything beautiful here. This was extra resin that I had left over while making the blooms. So I thought I would play around with it. I thought I'd do just a black and make a bloom with it. So there that is. Didn't turn out too bad. It's kind of still flimsy because it's not fully cured yet. And these are just my my molds that I experiment in. So that's why the other side doesn't look glossy as this side, because I've used these coasters so many times they're not glossy anymore. And this one I used, remember when I told you I made the center with epoxy resin and it made the glitter just fall down in the center and not stay where I put it? These were the outcome of that. So I just threw one of them in the center of this one just to play around with it and see what it would do. And I used a black again for the bloom. And there it is. It doesn't look too bad. It needs a smaller center and UV resin placing the glitter down in there instead of epoxy. And then here's another one that I done. I was just seeing what the black would look like instead of white in the bloom. And see, this side isn't glossy because my coasters aren't glossy anymore, because I experiment in them so much. And that glitter, it just sunk right in the middle because I used epoxy instead of UV resin to make the little centers. We make and we learn, right? So what do you guys think of my blooms that I made? Do you think they're pretty? I don't know what to think of these. They're interesting. But I was just using my extra resin that I had left over. But they're unique. We have reached the end, my friends. Thanks for watching and hanging out with me. I will see you all tomorrow. God bless you. Goodbye, my friends.